Hey everybody. Okay, I'm back. And I just want to be completely transparent here and say that I thought about the last video I posted, and after reflecting, decided that I don't need to be pressed about timing or um, anything else like stressful, and which is why for the first sets of videos I was laying down, it was really important to be in a relaxed and a calm state of mind, because sometimes your emotions starting to run high and you put in all of this pressure on recording and posting. Then sometimes the work and the quality is not there because you're more concerned with the end result. This type of story time for me, it's not about that. It's about cleansing. It's about healing. And I think that in order to go into even that frame of mind and space, that it takes relaxation, breathing, and being very calm about it and not putting pressure on yourself. And so here that goes. Okay. So to continue on to the next former coworker, I want to bring up a little guy by the name of Chris, who was a Cancer. Um, he was handicapped, from my understanding, and had a bit of a limp. And I can recall, like, even before working at that store, yeah, even before working at that store, having come in there with someone, a male, at the time, um, and that was a co-worker of mine at the time, but for all he knew, we could have been together. And we walked through that line, and he was the bag boy, as always, because he never really moved up in the company. His employment seemed to be based upon charity, if you ask me. Now, I'm not a mean-spirited person, so I'm not going to clown Chris here, but his customer service, as I got to know him working with him, is usually superior. And with us, it was just shady, and like he was just making little sly remarks out of his mouth, and like just had the spirit of a hater. But I brushed that aside, and when I met him and was working with him, I embraced him fully and just lovingly, warmly. Anytime that he wanted someone to talk to, a shoulder to lean on, someone to vent to, I was his girl. Like, he was my guy. And a lot of times in that place, when the tensions ran so high, and the drama and the gossips and sabotage, I thought that Chris was someone that I had by my side, the one person in my corner, Chris. Until leaving the company and moving forward in my life, and having remained some type of contact with him as well, and telling him just a little of my business, moving forward from the high end grocery store. And lo and behold, everything is always revealed later, guys. Lo and behold, I came to find out when I got back to Florida that he and my sister, who again is also a Cancer, if I hadn't mentioned, so they're both Cancers, had been communicating behind my back, and that a lot of the things that I was going through personally, professionally, just relationship wise, that I was confiding in him, that he was feeding right back to her. One day made some type of promise to me, and asked me to call him back, and called back and never ever heard from Chris again, you know? And so I say all of that to mention that back when I was working with him, he used to always have a recurring conversation. And what was that, guys? A conversation about a relationship. And woe is me, like always wondering why he didn't have one. And for the women he would date, that they just wouldn't stick around, and he would always be telling us their business. Maybe that played a part in it. But he was always a woe is me sort of victim complex character. And moving from that space, oh poor Chris, those girls just don't see you for who you are. You'll find someone someday. But to be absolutely honest with you, Chris, you're a fraud and a snake, and you're filled with hate and envy. No matter how church going and holy rolling you portray yourself at work. And when it becomes clear to a woman the level of manipulation, vindictiveness, pettiness, um, vileness that exists behind the crooked smile and the cocked eyes, um, I would run for the hills too. That what it was revealed to me in your actions later was that, wow, that man was probably really in love with you and just never, I was in this relationship with someone on the job at the time. And even before I was in that relationship, when he saw me with a guy, it was, maybe this was a person actually in love with you, and that behind the scenes and low key, it enraged him that he would never have you. And so that he chose to befriend you and get as close as he could to you, only to betray you. Sometimes, guys, you don't know what's up people's sleeves, what's their agenda, what's their objective for wanting to be your friend. What are they trying to make you pay the price for? Being a nerd in school, never being accepted, never being loved, valued. Every beautiful woman has always overlooked him, just friend zoned him. And all of that vile, putrid, toxic energy, is spewed. And I felt like he took a great pleasure in the abandonment gesture, like, to vow to me, yeah, I'm going to call you back, sure. And to never be heard from again. But for what was heard from was my personal business being spread into the streets by you. And so for Chris, the only thing I would have to say to you is nothing at all, because it require of me to get low, to get like you. But to just know that it's known, that when I look back on those, I think it was a Christmas party, and all of those smiles and all of that friendliness and all of those gestures, I saw what lied behind your eyes. I don't hate you. I'm not out to get you. But I just know who you are. And so long as that's known, and again, just your type. Let me say that. Okay. Now, during this time, I was not only under attack by co-workers due to the sabotage and, a vendetta waged against me by this dark side of Sagittarius, but that my own biological brother came into the picture as well. Okay. And at the same time that I was dealing with the toughest situations of my life, to every story I have pictures, of the time that I could pull up literally right now. Not as proof, but just, to back up the storyline, basically. But yeah, that my own biological brother came into the picture, who is now my sister. He is transgender. So he went from Jerediah Antonio Lee Williams to Erica Sanchez. And I say that because anyone that knows me knows my brother. Anybody that knows my brother knows me, my brother's sister now. And so I see that I'm running a little bit on my time. But I do want to chop it up about Miss Erica Sanchez. And so definitely follow me back. I can't say when, but when I'm back in the frame of mind and the proper space and place, I'll be posting that story time. From there, touching on a few more former co-workers and supervisors, some of the ladies in charge, and going back into the dark side of Sagittarius. You guys continue to follow me.